The chairman of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, UK Sinha, joins the Asian Financial Forum 2012 in Hong Kong. And thanks very much indeed for talking to us from Mumbai. Can I ask you, first of all, when you look at really the economy of India, I can imagine there may be problems with trade, but not so much with banking and securities. Is that the case?
You see, the impact of the euro crisis, it will be wrong for anybody to presume that it won't have any impact in other parts of the world, including India and other emerging markets. But the fact remains that the banking sector in India or the financial sector in India is very strong, and it is strong for the following reasons. One of which is that the prudential regulations in India are very tight and capital adequacy is strong. There can be temporary problems about assets quality and things like that, but on investments by the banking system, the regulations have been very strong. There have been sectoral caps, there have been caps about what activities they can take up or they can't. So, my assessment is that the financial system in India is very robust.
So, what would be the implications really to India opening up its banking and financial markets to international players?
I will be exceeding my authority if I take any call on what the Parliament of India is going to legislate, especially at a time when the Parliament is in session. But my feeling is that a strong consensus is emerging that there have to be opening of the gates and making things more liberal for foreign investment in various sectors of the financial industry. I am talking, for example, of the pension regulatory authority. I am not sure what is going to happen in the insurance sector in this session of the Parliament, but I believe that there is a strong consensus emerging about pension regulatory bill being passed.
Your portfolio covers Indian investment across the entire Asia Pacific. So do you see many Asian Pacific countries really investing ultimately in India?
My case is the following. The current multiples at which the companies of India are trading or the index is trading is a very attractive multiple. There have been instances in the last 4 or 5 years where Indian indices or companies have been trading at multiples several times higher than the rest of the world, and we were able to attract money. My feeling is that once the global moods stabilizes, once there is a feeling that the European problem is not going to create any further major problem, and foreign investors start looking at various opportunities across the globe, they will find India very attractive. Also for the reason that although our growth will slow down or has started slowing down a little bit, our assessment is that it will still remain very high compared to many other parts of the world, and we will remain maybe number 1 to number 3 so far as the growth is concerned.
So to what extent, Mr. Sinha, do you see Indian securities being of particular interest to Hong Kong institutions, and would that cover things like finance and perhaps agriculture, other areas?
My feeling is that Hong Kong has emerged as a very strong financial center, especially in Asia. The requirements of India, for example, are in fields of infrastructure. Government has started liberalizing the debt ceilings for investors across the world in the infrastructure sector in India. I would argue that they will find this sector very attractive, and there are 1 or 2 issues with regard to coal or power at the moment, but these are getting addressed. And the need for infrastructure in the next plan, that we have a 5-year plan, the next plan starts in 2012. The estimation is that India will require about $1 trillion, and half of that would be through private sector participation. So, India will be an attractive destination both for debt and equity, for example, in the infrastructure sector. There are several others. Financial sector can be very attractive. I find that in areas like pharma and IT also, people are getting attracted.
Well, Hong Kong has established itself as an international center for RMB business. Would you expect, therefore, Indian companies to become interested as well?
I see some thinking on those lines, but these are initial days for Indian companies. but I would imagine that those companies which have some presence in China, or those companies which have some trade relations in China, they will perhaps be the first ones to start taking advantage of it.
Well, in 2011, Hong Kong had some of the biggest initial public offers in the world. So would you think that Indian companies will look at some of those IPOs and maybe start to move into the market themselves?
Yes, I think so. I think so, because the Indian companies right now, for quite a few months, because of global developments, the IPO market in India has become silent or stagnant. But to give you an example, whenever the government of India starts divesting its stake in the public sector companies, Hong Kong will be a very important destination for all the companies. And in the past also, Hong Kong has taken a lot of interest in India's divestment program or fundraising for new companies. I am sure it will continue to be that. Right now, for quite a few months, things are at a standstill, but hopefully these things will recover. And as early as they recover, Hong Kong will see a lot of activity from India itself.
Mr. Sinha, at the Asian Financial Forum 2012, you're certainly going to be looking at the international economic turmoil, but could there be a certain consensus building aspect of this particular forum?
A very strong view or consensus on how to tackle it from the point of view of financial sector industry, from the point of view of private enterprise, that may emerge. But the ultimate solutions lies with the agencies which are outside the purview of the activity that we are going to see in January in Hong Kong. But there will be discussions and there will be lot of deliberations, and I think a consensus will emerge on what the private sector feels about this whole activity which is happening globally.